It was a Monday morning. Children were being dropped off at the mosque school. Then the shooting started. 2 teenagers, camouflage, stolen guns. Hate-filled words scrawled on the weapons themselves. By the time it was over, the security guard at America's largest mosque was dead. 3 men, gone. The shooters too, by their own hands. Sandiego is mourning and asking why. Three men are dead, and 2 teenage gunmen have killed themselves after an attack on San Diego's largest mosque in what police are investigating as a hate crime. The shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego in the city's Claremont neighborhood began on May 18th at around 11:40 local time in the morning, when 2 teenage suspects opened fire outside the complex before turning their weapons on themselves a few blocks away.
At about 9:42 this morning, we received a call of a runaway juvenile. After speaking with the mom began to piece together bits and pieces of information over an extended period of time. The information that she was gathering and conveying to us began to elevate the threat level that we were perceiving with this information.
Police had been searching for the pair for nearly 2 hours before the attack. The mother of the 17-year-old had called officers that morning to report her son had run away, taken 3 of her weapons and her vehicle. She told police he was suicidal and was with a companion, both dressed in camouflage. That detail raised immediate alarm. Officers used automated license plate readers, dispatched units to a nearby shopping mall, and alerted Madison High School, where at least one of the suspects was enrolled. They were still interviewing the mother just blocks from the mosque when the first shots rang out.
We are actively investigating this as a hate crime. There are details and information that we are investigating as to exactly what those what the hate speech or the hate words were that were conveyed. Some of that is going to have to take more time to develop further to see where that information is coming from. But yes, it's being investigated as a hate crime at this point. There was definitely hate rhetoric that was involved.
Among the dead was Amin Abdullah, a security guard who had worked at the center for more than a decade. Police credited him with preventing a far deadlier outcome. A friend of Abdullah's told reporters the guard was a father of 8 who ran towards the mosque entrance every morning when parents dropped off their children for school. The Islamic Center houses the Al-Rashid School, which serves students from the age of 5. All children inside were evacuated safely. Footage shows them walking out hand in hand, surrounded by scores of police vehicles.
My community is mourning. This is something that we have never expected to take place. But at the same time, the religious intolerance and the hate, unfortunately, that exists in our nation is unprecedented. All of us, we are responsible for spreading the culture of tolerance, the culture of love. All of us, we are responsible from whatever position we have as parents, as media people, as elected officials, as law enforcement, as religious leaders. All of us, we can do something to protect our nation, to protect our society. And please, I have one request to the media. Stop sharing the picture of the victims.
Investigators found hate speech written on one of the weapons. A note left behind at the suspect's home contained writings about racial pride, though police said there was no specific threat made against the mosque. US President Donald Trump described the deadly shooting as a terrible situation, saying he had received early updates and expected further details.
They're giving a briefing, and it's a terrible situation. I've been given some early updates, but we're going to be going back and looking at it very strongly.
The attack came days before Eid al-Adha, one of the most sacred periods in the Islamic calendar. The FBI is now working alongside local police as the investigation continues.
I saw a bunch of bad stuff. Before I came, they were sitting on the floor doing morning meeting, and we all heard the gunshot. And we thought it was like a tray smacking the ground. Yeah, and then all of that happened. I heard like a bunch of bad stuff, like gunshots, and plus, I went inside the closet with my whole class. We heard like 12 or like 16 gunshots, and then the SWAT team said, "If you open up," and they opened the door. And then the police, like the SWAT team, they kicked open the door and they went inside. They told us to put our hands up and form a big line. And then we saw the second graders form a line. We were like walking inside the musalla. All of us, we saw the the sheikh's house, the sheikh's apartment inside the mosque, and like it was broken down. The gold stuff is broken on the floor. And then we went down. We went from the hudud station, and then we saw a bunch of bad stuff. People laying down and bad stuff. I felt a bit scared. My legs were shaking in my hands, and my head was like hurting me a lot. I felt like a rock.
I hope that's the whole place. Every time I see it, it's super.
The teachers and the kids were like shaking, sad and stuff. And when the guy kicked the door, all of them were crying.